Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday, the 24th of January 2025. In today's Millwall news, this was published by the club today on millfc.co.uk. An injury update on Danny McNamara and Romain Leonard. Obviously, we watched them the other day crumple in heaps soon after each other. Very worrying, two right backs gone. What are we going to do now? Well, going to have to figure out because it's going to go on for a while. Obviously, they didn't look like easy injuries, if there ever is an easy injury. Millwall Football Club can confirm defender Danny McNamara will undergo surgery on a serious knee injury sustained against Cardiff City. The defender was the second half substitute for the Lions in Tuesday's evening's 2-2 draw, but was forced off on a stretcher in the 61st minute after turning awkwardly on his left leg. No specific timescale is being placed upon his return to action at this stage. Following surgery, Danny will begin a rehabilitation program with the club's medical team to assist his recovery. Now, interestingly there, so what did they say? It was a knee injury. So they don't say whether it's ACL, MCL, whatever. They did say last time he's just come back from injury, and they did say that it was PCL. That's posterior cruciate ligament. And I remember that because that's the same thing that Jake Cooper got injured with when he was out. So it's the same thing. So is that anything? Obviously, if they're trying to in the future, sell him on, and there have been some rumours in the past, QPR, etc. stuff. Obviously, you don't want it out there that he's got an ACL. I think that's the worst one. I'm not sure, but I think that is the worst one. So, as I expected, this is the season. He's done for the season. I think these kinds of things, they take like 6 months. So, a minimum. The 26-year-old replaced Romain Leonard in the 56th minute, who was also forced off due to injury. Initial scans have revealed Ryan has suffered a significant calf injury and will require further scans to determine his rehabilitation steps. The club sends its best wishes to Danny and Ryan during their recovery. So he's got a calf injury, so that was some kind of muscle tear. Now, if it was Achilles, would they say calf injury? I guess, again, if you didn't want it to know it was an Achilles, but then if it was Achilles, you would know it was an Achilles. If you don't know what an Achilles is, it's like a ligament. It's like a bit of basically human gristle. I don't know if you ever had a chicken drumstick and that thing at the end that it looks like jelly, hard jelly. Basically, that's your Achilles, and that you snaps. So if you wouldn't need a scan and then more scans to figure that out, so probably just a calf tear. But the fact that they don't even know how to treat it without doing more scans, so again, very serious. And I would say that's him until the end of the season at least, because it's coming up to February now. So 4 months until the end of the season? I mean, I think that's it. Both done until the end of the season. So confirming what we all expected when we saw, them falling in heaps at the Den and the other day. So sad news. But some good news today. Swansea City. 2 games in a week for the under-21s against Swansea City. On Monday it was away in Swansea. Today was at Calmont Road against Swansea. They won 5-0 and I believe it was 4-0 at half-time. So 5-star under-21s see off Swansea City, and this is the match report from millfc.co.uk. Mill's under-21s were 5-0 winners over Swansea City in the Professional Development League on Friday afternoon, in a fixture that also saw the Lions miss a penalty and hit the crossbar. Jaden Celestine Charles, Cavalli Hayward, Sheldon Kendall, Rafiq Lamptey and Abdullahi Abdulaziz all hit the back of the net to ease Kevin Nugent's side towards a 5th straight victory. 5 in a row. Boom. There were just 30 minutes on the clock when the scoring was opened as Celestine Charles' deflected shot flew into the top corner before Hayward combined with Kendall, with the former feeding off the latter's flick on to double the advantage. Before the half-time break, Kendall scored perhaps the best goal of the game as he got hold of the ball on the edge of the centre circle and drove towards goal, beating one before powerfully finishing with the 4th goal coming just moments after the restart as Lamptey guided a classy shot into the bottom corner. So it's 3-0 at half-time. Abdulaziz then poured upon a spilled shot to fire home the rebound for 5-0. Next up for Millwall under-21s is the visit of Bristol City on Tuesday afternoon, which is at Calmont Road again. The team, this is a very young team as well. So this was a very young team. There's no... Obviously, we've got massive injuries in the first team squad, so no one even on the fringes of the first team. Like, Massey's not here. They're not even, like, playing any of them players in this team. So, nope. Not... Like, a lot of these players are under 18 players. And, they're stepping in and they're stepping up, and it's good to see. So the team was as follows: Przewozny, Mansour, Drake, Taylor, Ollie Evans, Dyer, Kendall, Lamptey, Haywood, Whitby, Celestine Charles. And the subs were Abdulaziz on for Ollie Evans at half-time, Vieira on for Mansour in the 84th minute, and the unused subs were Lindner, Thomas Smith and Wright. So there you go. And what that does now, 5 wins in a row, Mill coming off, steaming up the charts, because they were down about 8th or something, because a lot of transition in the summer, let a lot of players go, and even this season, the main players for the under-21s are out on loan, and more on that in a minute. Henry Earn's out on loan, Okoli's out on loan, Thomas Lee's out on loan. These main players are out on loan. And they're still getting it done. So they figured out a way. Obviously, they've had to reform, figure a few things out. And they've played 16. They've only lost 4. And, they've still got 2 games in hand on Charlton. And if they win those 2 games, they'll go above Charlton. And you've got to finish in the top 2 to go to the semi-final tournament at the end of the season, which gives you a chance to win the main prize, which is, the National Division Championship. Which is, even though this is a league system, you don't need to win this league. You need to get into the tournament and then win that. So just finishing second is, it's fine. It's okay. Just means that you'll play the team that finishes top in the northern group, because it's north, east, south. So there you go. So there you go. Fantastic stuff. The future is bright. The future is young. Like I said, talking of loan, Okoli has joined Woking on loan, now managed by Neil Hardley, former Millwall player, and he has quite similarly revived Woking, and that they are on an unbeaten run, doing quite well. So Millwall's under-21s defender Okoli has joined Woking on loan for the remainder of the 24-25 season. Okoli most recently spent time on loan at Steve Morrison's Sutton United, but will now spend the rest of the campaign with the Cards. Yeah, he started out at Sutton, he did quite well, they were doing quite well, and then I don't know what happened, he ended up getting dropped to the subs bench, and then that coincided with their results slipping, but then they sorted their results out after signing a few more players. And his loan has ended, so don't know what's gone on, but good for Woking, I guess. They bolstered their squad. So Chin will hope to go straight into the squad for Saturday's Vanarama National League trip to Hartlepool United. I would say that he's 21 now, I believe. 21, so obviously the under-21s is the under-21s. So I think this could be like an exit loan, that they kind of they probably know that they're going to be leaving at the end of the year. They're not going to get a pro contract because they're not that close to Millwall's first team. Now they could get a development deal where they could probably just give them another year or 2, and then loan them back out again. But he didn't do that with Alex Mitchell. I think as long as the aim is to get them out and to get them through the system, Mill's youth system, and to get them into football as a professional footballer. Now, ideally, as a Millwall player, but we're at the Championship now, so that's a high standard to have to jump up from the youth teams to Division 2 of English football, which is pretty good division. It's one of the highest watched and rated divisions in the world, really, after the big ones in Europe and maybe 1 or 2 in Central and South America. So it's quite hard. So as long as, we've seen recently, Alex Mitchell's on his first season as a pro out and out in the wild with Charlton. He's doing okay. But Isaac Alofi, he left Millwall, went to Stockport, smashed it, like smashing goals in League Two. Hasn't really played that much in League One, stepped up, so maybe League Two's his level. If he can do slightly improve, he's doing okay in League One, but he's not blowing it away. But that's the idea. Because the players coming through the youth team, you want to point to someone and say, look, him. You see him there playing there. He came through the RU system. He came through our youth system. So you can point to all these players, and especially if it's quite recently, the ones in the youth system and their parents or whatever who are considering signing him up for Millwall can look at that and say, wow, okay, let's come here. So I think this is probably, he's going out on loan, and we'll see him leave at the end of the season, and hopefully, get a National League team at the least, and we'll see what he can do in the future. Now, moving on to this. Tickets. Anyone got tickets? For the trip to Plymouth Argyle, the very long trip. It's going on sale next week. Next Tuesday. So, Mill travel to Plymouth Argyle on the Sky Bet Championship on Wednesday the 12th of January. Yes, did you know they've changed it? They moved it back a day, 24 hours. From Tuesday to Wednesday because of the Leeds, because of the Leeds FA Cup game, because of Plymouth's FA Cup game against Liverpool. So there you go. And tickets will go on sale to season ticket holders from 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, the 28th of January. Tickets will go on sale to members from 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, the 30th of January. So, quite a long trip. So I imagine the demand is lower. So, they're not doing all this, you need this many points, that many points, etc., etc. Tickets are priced at £27 for adults, £22 for over 65s, £17 for under 23s, £11 for under 18s, £8 for under 14s, and £3 for under 8s. When does the coach leave? The night before? Tickets will go off sale at 2 p.m. on Tuesday the 11th. We have initial. I love that word, initial. We have an initial allocation of 1,192 tickets. So that suggests if those get sold out, we might be getting some more. Now, coaches will leave the den at 10:30. So not that early. And coach tickets are priced at £38. These can be purchased by season ticket holders and members in person at the ticket office. So there you go. Now, moving on to this, and then we're going to preview the game. Probably I don't know the last time we speak about Romain Esse, but the last time for a while, I'd imagine. They basically did an interview. Obviously, I don't know if you noticed this, if you've been on Millwall social medias, they publish a lot of the clips of the young players doing the good stuff. And that's clearly part of the plan and the strategy for, building up the assets. Because if you got some jewels, I've got these jewels, precious jewels. What do you want your jewels to do? You want them to shine, so you polish them. And then you can show them off in public. And that's what we're doing with these social media posts. With the goals and the clips, Bangor Williams, RBW. He's all over at Mills X, multiple posts about how he played the other day, which is fair enough. He was really good, but they don't do that for when Murray Wallace does his Cruyff turns, do they? If you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. So, and this is part of this where they're like, so they got an interview with Scott Fitzgerald, basically trying to pump up a Mill's youth system. So obviously, so anyone who reads this can say, oh, that's interesting, I'll send my child there. Or I'll send my one of my players there. So he was always someone who could handle the ball. Millwall Academy boss on Romain Esse's journey to the Premier League. Yeah, this is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, the South London Press. No matter what Romain Esse goes on to achieve in his career, the fact he underwent his footballing upbringing at Millwall always mean that he is a source of immense pride in SE16. Indeed. The 19-year-old ended his decade-long association with the Lions on Saturday when he signed for Crystal Palace in a deal that could eventually be worth £14.5 million. Esse, raised in Peckham and Bermondsey, has signed a contract with the Eagles until 2030 and now will get the chance to try and create the same excitement he sparks in Championship matches in a far more testing environment of the Premier League. In an ideal world for Millwall fans, a transfer, a club record, would not have happened quite yet. But Millwall have been stung in losing plenty of their prize talent before they stepped up to first team level. Darko Garby, Samuel Dozie and Zach Lovelace are some relatively recent examples. Esse played 66 times for the Lions and scored 7 goals with his vibrant performances, particularly this season, ensuring that Palace's sporting director Dougie... ensuring that what? Ensuring what? Have they missed? Is there a line missing? Okay. There's a line missing there for some reason. Palace's sporting director Dougie Freeman was a regular and highly interested spectator in the Den's director's box. Esse trained with Chelsea before signing for Millwall at the age of 9, the point at which youngsters can make a decision on signing for a club. Rom has always been a technical player, Lions Academy director Scott Fitzgerald told the South London Press. He was someone who could always handle the ball, no matter what age or environment he was in. Rom was a very late maturer. He was a dot for years. I still think there's much more to come from him physically. We used to have conversations on a regular basis at the academy about potentially playing Romain down a year, based off the fact the players have to have success and failure in development. Because in my own age group, at the time, he couldn't physically do what we knew he could do. So we wanted to maybe drop him down a year and let him have some success. But him and his dad were adamant they didn't want to do that. In all my time here, Romain would have been one of the only guys who spoke about doing that too. Really unusual. We tend to play players up a level, and what he was showing in his age group was just glimpses, and wanted to see more than just glimpses. The main attribute to me was that physicality. You can watch boys at 14 or whatever age, and they can dominate a game through physicality, and you see them again 2 years later when other people have had their growth spurts, and you don't recognise the other boy then. And it plays a huge role in development without a doubt. Esse did bypass under-21 football to move from under-18 level into the first team fold. He made his debut in December 2022 against Watford. His first goal came on the opening day of last season, a 1-0 victory at Middlesbrough. Those that knew him well talk about his technical skills being a joke, in quotes. There's this inherent ability in a player like Rom, but there's also the repetition, training that obviously enhances it, said Scott Fitzgerald. You're born with elements of it, and then that's how you bring it out. Romain always had that drive. A lot of players who have that type of technical ability think that's enough, and they don't need to do the other bits. And he loves doing the other bits, stuff without the ball. I've never seen him go, no, I don't need to do that. He relishes the hard work. I spoke to him a little while ago about that side of it and not having the ball so often, and it will stand him in good stead for the next bit. Every level you step up, it becomes that bit more tactical and a bit more physical, and the game is quicker. And the fact he had the opportunity to train so early with the first team and the tactical detail that those first team staff do certainly brought him on quicker than probably we all thought. Esse is likely to be in Palace's squad for Sunday's home derby against Brentford. The indications are that the Eagles will gradually integrate him into their setup. I'm guessing he won't be going there to be a starter. There are plenty of top-class players there, so he's got to get there and prove himself, show every day in training what he's shown us, wait for his opportunity and take it. All footballers have to do that. You can never settle. You're always striving for the next bit, and this is the next bit for Rom. He's got to do what he's done, which is work hard every single day and show the application. One of the things I loved about Rom coming through the age groups is that he always had a smile on his face. No matter what happened, he would be smiling if he had the ball at his feet. And I could be moaning at him one day about something which happens quite a lot as a scholar, and then he'll just have a big grin on his face. Just because he loved being at the club, I love that about him. And I miss seeing that big grin about. Esse's playing ceiling feels high. The danger of any prospect is that they are plucked away by a Premier League club. Mirror experienced that earlier this season when defender Josh Stevenson, 18, turned down a professional deal to sign a 4-year contract at Brentford. For me, the holy grail of the academy and the football club is getting a boy in at 9 years old, seeing them come right the way through and playing our first team, said Fitzgerald, who's been with the Lions for nearly 2 decades. Then to be in the Premier League, if it's not with us, then with someone else, it means our fans get to see him and appreciate him all our players and parents get to see him and show that he's a pathway at our club. And not that you have to leave us at 14 for another club and think that's the pathway for you. We've proved you can do that pathway here with us, right the way through. When I came in, what seems a lifetime ago, it stuck with me. Rom is the first person we've really done that with. And that should be such a proud moment, obviously for myself, but all the staff. And the staff that were here 10 years ago are no longer with us and moved on to different things. They've all played a part in the development of Rom. Interesting, so obviously he's saying, because he's been there all the time, that this hasn't really happened before, where they come in straight away the first year that they're allowed to sign under 9s. That someone has come in at under 9s and gone all the way through up into the first team. Doesn't happen. You think other players like Paul Robinson came in at 19, I believe, from Watford. Other players, they're at other youth clubs and then they come to Millwall. When Millwall show interest in them, they scout them even when they're like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So Romain Esse is the first one to come in at 9, under 9s, whatever, and then go all the way through. Interesting. Millwall are based in a hotbed for producing top-level footballers. So many youngsters who signed for Charlton will have looked at the story of Ademola Lookman, now excelling at Atalanta. There will be others using Esse's progression as a source of inspiration and motivation. So does it help the Lions fend off stern competition for players? Oh, talk is cheap, we can talk about pathways and opportunities, but now with Romain, we've showed it, Players have left us to go to clubs at a younger age, and also the other way around. Billy Mitchell and Daniel McNamara were about 14. What I just said, and they're considered like Millwall through and through. They came at 14. Oh, this is the big one where it's right from the word go. If I was a parent or player, I'd be looking at that and thinking, I want a piece of that. I've known Rom so long, seeing him as a baby and then running out in the first team. Seeing how he's performed this season to get the move, it speaks volume for him and the family. We talk about hard work all the time and what we should do, but ultimately, it's the player and whether he commits or not. He's committed, so, total respect to him and the family. So there you go, Romain Esse there, Scott Fitzgerald on Romain Esse. And we'll see how we go. See what the future holds. Now, going back, we're going to start previewing tomorrow's early kickoff game. 12:30 kickoff in the UK. I don't know what time that is for you, wherever you are around the world. Match passes. You can buy your match pass from Millwall, but only in certain countries. Right, so match passes are available in the following locations. As you can see as we go down: Belarus, Belgium, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Christmas Islands. Did you hear that? Christmas Islands, not Happy Holiday Islands, Christmas Islands. Cook Islands, Czech Republic, East Timor. Oh, not Timor-Leste, East Timor. Eritrea, Guam, Guinea-Bissau, Laos, Kiribati, etc., etc. North Mariana Islands, Palau, Republic of South Sudan, Slovakia, Socotra, Solomon Islands, South Tyrol, Taiwan, not just Tanzania, but Tanzania and Zanzibar, 2 for 1, Zambia and Zimbabwe. So these are the places where you can buy a match pass from Millwall, or if you need a VPN to set a country to, I always choose Luxembourg. I've just started doing that. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. Now, moving on to this. If you're not going to do that, but you are based somewhere in the world, I'll tell you where you need to go to watch the game. So if you're in the UK, obviously the game is one of the early kickoffs, one of the 5 early kickoffs on Saturday from this new Sky TV deal, which is a pain in the arse because we haven't won one yet. Have we, ladies and gentlemen? No, we haven't. We haven't won an early kickoff yet so far this season. Aye. So it's on Sky Sports main event, Sky Sports Football. It's on Sky Ultra HD. It's on Now TV. It's on Sky Go Extra and Sky Go. So it's not just on Sky Sports Plus. It's actually on the channels. Wow. Okay. There's the table. Don't look at that. You might get upset. So This is a list of countries where it's being shown on a television channel in your country, or a streaming service, I assume, because Disney Plus is a streaming service, is it not? So there you go. Aruba. Are you in Aruba? Disney Plus Caribbean, or Caribbean, I guess they would say. If you're in Bulgaria, it's Play Diama Sport 2. DAZN Canada. DAZN Canada. TV3 Max in the Faroe Islands. In Ghana, it's on the Star Times app. Super Sport Go TV Football. In Grenada, in Guadeloupe, in Iceland, it's on Viaplay Iceland. Sport 1 in Israel. BG Sports in Laos. It's in Malawi, it's in Martinique, it's in Montserrat. It's in Montenegro, it's on the Arena 3 Premium. In Moldova, it's on Setanta Sports 1. So Moldova, not only is the fashion 30 years behind, but the TV channels are as well, because they've still got Setanta Sports out there. What's that about? Serbia, it's on the Arena 3 Premium, etc, etc. So there you go. In the USA, it's on Paramount Plus. Of course it is. Of course it is. So there you go. Either buy a match pass from Millwall City VPN, or find one of these TV channels and watch it there. Now, moving on to the history of this fixture from 11v11.com is the head-to-head of trips by Millwall to Luton Town. Very first trip, very first win, 1909, before we joined the Football League. And we won 2-1 in the FA Cup. Happy days. Well, it was until later on when we actually, both teams joined the Football League from the Southern League. Not so good. We have, in the 1920s and the 1930s, we had many trips to Luton Town, and we did not win until 1948. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trips to Luton before we won a game on the 14th. What was that about? And that was after the war. Wow. So, but then we won 2 in a row, although we didn't play them for a while, because from 1948 to 1963 did not play each other, because obviously we won in the same league, but we came straight back and we won again, 3-1. So 2 wins in a row. So you wait for a win and then 2 come along at once. Of course, it's the old bus joke. But then we go back to not winning until 1977, April 1977, a 2-1 win, and then a 2-1 win in 1989, and then we go on this again, another run. But since the 1990s, the wind has changed, the fortunes have reversed. We then go on a 5-game wins in a row away up at Luton. Obviously we're doing quite well, they're not doing too well. 1997 win, 98 win, 2000 win, 2000 again win. Then we do lose in 2005, but since then, again, haven't lost. 4 draws in a row, mind, going back to 2019 to the present day. 1-1 draw in 2019, 1-1 draw in 2021, 22 2-2 draw, 23 2-2 draw. So, but unbeaten in 7 games. The last 7 trips to Luton Town, we have not lost the game. And before that, 1 win in, add another 6, 13. One defeat in 13 trips to Luton. What's happened there? What has happened there? You could say it's probably what happened in the 1990s, who got elected, and what happened to the country quite rapidly over that time. We all know what Luton is today. It's certainly not what it was in the past. So has that affected the home team and our trips up there? I don't know, probably. Or it could be what happened in 1985. Does anyone know what happened in 1985? Where we lost in the FA Cup. But since then, maybe the fans, this is one where the fans don't come. Obviously, the what shall we say, the milk toast fans, the average fan who just stays away from this game because they're scarred from what happened in 1985, which was constantly repeated over and over and over again on your television screens. But it's just quite weird that since then, going into the 90s, the change in form was just completely turned on its head. Do they even sell out when they play us? I don't know. I know we always sell out our away allocation, but I mean, man, maybe that's it. Maybe that is it. So there you go. What are we in now? We're on the 20. It's going to be the 25th when we play them in January. Have we played them away in January? We must have done. 1st of January, 72. 16th of January. So that original the first ever game at Luton Town was the closest to today's date. We've only played them twice in January. When you look at all the games that we've played up there, and there's only 2 games in January. That's quite bizarre. Because even when you consider that there's 12 months in a year, and for June, July, so it's only 10 months. All of these trips, and out of 10 months, January's only been selected twice. Okay, so there you go. Interestingly as well, So, there you go. Now let's get into this. This is from whoscored.com. Let's go to the right hand side. Match facts. Luton have drawn their last 5 home matches against Millwall in all competitions. Luton have lost 5 of the last 6 matches in the Championship. Millwall are undefeated in their last 7 away matches against Luton in all competitions. So if we go back to the middle. So the last 6 games, going all the way back to 2013, we've lost 0, drawn 4, won 2. So we only won 2. Let's not get too carried away. And they were both by 3-goal scorelines, and that was literally 5 and 6 games ago. One of them was in the Johnson Pate Trophy, and the other one was in the FA Cup. So the Cup games we won, the league games we drew. Interestingly, so 7 goals they've scored in those 6 games. 12 goals we've scored in those 6 games. I would love to score that amount of goals in this season, but it's not happening. In the cards as well. So bizarrely, this seems to be, in my memory, is quite a fierce game. 6 games, 3 yellow cards for them, 6 yellow cards for us. That's not a lot of cards, really, is it? I mean, so there you go. If we go down, this is the table as it stands. We're in 17th, they're in 23rd. So they're one of the 3 worst teams in this division at the moment after they played 28 games. We're not that far behind in terms of points. 5 points above them. But, we do have a game in hand, which is coming up next, in a couple of days' time, actually, Tuesday. As you can see on the form guide, both teams have not won a game in the last 6. However, they've drawn 1 game of the last 6. We've drawn 3. So, there's that. So let's look at the form table first. Here you go. So we've got the last 6 games, 3 draws, 3 defeats. Scoring 5, conceded 8, minus 3 goal difference. They have drawn 1, lost 5. Scoring 4, conceded 9. That's not too good. That's worse than us. Go back to this. Home form. Are they any good at home? They're 14th at home. Oh dear. So, as we saw in their last 6 games altogether, they haven't won a game. But in their home games, the last 6 games at home, they've won 3, drawn 2, lost 1. And overall, they've won 6, drawn 4 at home, which is better than basically how we are at home. And our home form is, a lot of fans probably not happy with our home form. And they are 1 point better off at home than we are. So if we go to away form, what is Millwall's away form like? We have won one away game all season. However, we've drawn 7. So we don't mind an away draw. We've only lost 4 times away from home, which is probably why a lot of fans are not happy with our home form, because we've lost 6 at home and only 4 away. If we drew more games at home, I think the fans might be a bit more happy, unless they were in the situation where we're 2 goals up and then conceded 2 goals, one of which is in the final minute of the game. So there you go. So obviously Luton, their away form is horrendous. They've only picked up 4 away points all season from 14 games. So, their home form is basically giving them any chance of staying up. And that's not that good anyway. It's better than ours. Their home form is the mid-table. Their away form is relegation. And that's what's dragging them down. And so the fact that we have to go there and play them, yeah, we are playing a team in the bottom of the table, but, they're decent at home. So if we go down to those actual games, now. We have a new manager. I don't know if you noticed him. It's Alex Neil. He's only managed 1 Millwall away game because he didn't take charge until the 30th. He was at the Coventry game. Or he didn't even take charge. He was announced on the 30th. He was at the Coventry game. We see him in pictures of him on the television, sitting next to James Berylson. That was the game, the Coventry game. So in Alex Neil's first and only away game, we scored 2 goals, which we haven't done for a while. Since the game, I think Bristol, that we lost 4-3 or whatever it was. So this is going to be second away game. Interestingly, in that game, what he did, he made a few changes in terms of he played Ivanovic up front. I think it was Ivanovic. He started with him at least. I think it was him. And he played Esse and Femi Aziz narrow in the middle and said, play off of him, get the scraps. Because if you're out wide, you're too wide. Get in the middle. So they were playing more like a Christmas tree. Are we going to see that again tomorrow? If that's what we see tomorrow, then that's Alex Neil's how he sets up the team to play away games. We're going to play through the middle. If we've got Bangor Williams, if we've got Scanlon, we can dribble through the middle with them. Obviously, we've got no Femi Aziz, we've got no Esse. That's not good. But maybe Connolly. Can Connolly play in the number 10? Can he play off Bangor Williams? So we'll wait to see if he does the same thing. But in Alex Neil's first away game, he made a few tactical changes, and it was 2-2. Now, we were very lucky in that game. Sheffield Wednesday were really poor up front. They had a player that couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. So, do remember that. We've only kept 1 away clean sheet in the last 6 games. That was away at Coventry, which was a 0-0 draw. But we've only failed to score against Middlesbrough and Coventry. We scored in all the other games. So, and if we got Scanlon and we got Bangor Williams, and we got Langstaff, and we got Connolly, and we got Ivanovic, maybe we might be able to do something tomorrow. Now, Luton, again, they've got a new manager, and I believe that this is his first and only home game in charge, because a lot of their games have been away. You can see here, so their home game, last one was on the 18th, 0-0 against Preston. Before that was New Year's Day. So quite a time away, because obviously the cup game was an away game. They failed to score against Norwich, and they failed to score against Preston. Before that, they were scoring in all the games. They even kept a clean sheet against Hull, and they just kept a clean sheet against Preston. So like us, they failed to score in 2 games. But they've kept a clean sheet in 2 games. So literally, there you go. Strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, they have a lot more weaknesses, which they are in a relegation places. So there you go. Here's the styles of play, and here's the match forecast. Now let's get into the prediction from WhoScored.com. What do they actually think is going to happen? Well, I'll tell you, that's probably not going to be the team. But again, who plays at right back? Is it Kramer? Is it going to be someone from left field? Not literally the left of the field. I mean, someone we don't expect. Honeyman, Denor, Hutchinson. Don't know. But we wait to see. Who will it be? Who will it be? So they've got a lot of injuries as well. There's the match facts again. But here is the prediction. Goals from Tom Krause and Mark McGuinness gave Luton the lead on 2 occasions against an informed Oxford United side in midweek, but the Hatters couldn't hold on and left the Kassam Stadium empty-handed. Yeah, they lost 3-2. Matt Bloomfield is still searching for his first win since arriving, and the hosts are now winless in 6 league games. But again, most of those were away from home, remember. Alex Neil was cruelly denied his first win in the tenure as Millwall manager on Tuesday night when Yusuf Salac equalised for Cardiff deep into stoppage time. The Lions now being swept into the relegation battle and have won just one of the last 13 championship matches. And they predict Luton 2, Millwall 1. Okay. Now, from sportsmile.co.uk, and again, you know, this is well written, but I'm just going to skip along to the end. So you can see here, obviously they lost their cup game. We won our cup game, so we have won a game in the last 6 in all competitions. There's all the injuries and stuff, which I believe is up to date. Now, Aziz, they reckon Aziz has come back. Maybe. I don't think he is. They say Luton 2, Millwall 1. Both of these sides are still searching for the first league victory under their new managers, although Millwall's wait has been considerably longer. With Luton performing better in their home games this season, we think they can grab a much-needed win this weekend against the Lions. So they've both gone for 2-1. They have both gone for 2-1. Well, I should say, I think we're going to win 2-0. I think we're going to win 2-0. We have the best defence, one of the best, the 7th best defence in the league, or joint 6. It's just scoring up front that we've had a problem with. And you saw, like I said, Sheffield Wednesday away. Alex Neil made some changes and things had changed. We scored 2 goals. So, you know, I think we could see that again. What I would say is the whole game was horrendous. And after that, I wanted to see some changes, and I saw the changes against Cardiff. You know, the second half was disastrous, and it was the tired players trying to hold on, doing a lot of defensive work when there's no fresh legs to bring on. You know, no one to bring on because we've got so many injuries, and obviously the injuries happening in the game forced, you know, certain changes to be made that probably weren't optimal. But we scored 2 excellent goals from open play. You know, both of their goals came from mistakes. We gifted Cardiff goals. If we didn't gift them goals, would they have scored 2 goals? No. They may have sneaked 1. They wouldn't have got 2. We shot ourselves in the foot. All you have to do to win a game is not shoot yourselves in the foot. See, if we can do what we did against Cardiff in the first half away at Luton, happy days. And as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, happy days. So again, I'm going to go Luton 0, Millwall 2 for Millwall's second away win of the season and our first win in an early kickoff. So there you go. That should be fun. Let's have a go. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.